Hey, it's Rob from the Bobs here, and it's not a book video. It's the annual Top 10 Albums of 2021. Okay, was it a good year in music? No, I don't think so, I'm going to be honest. But there were some interesting releases. I found listening to music very difficult this year for reasons I don't need to get into. So, actually, I returned a lot. Let's arrange the camera a bit. I returned a lot to, well, what I grew up with, which is guitar rock, even though there are a couple of weird experimental ones in there. We'll get to it. So let's start. Number 10. I'll probably lose count because I'm really bad at that sort of thing. So number 10, we've got Dinosaur Junior. Sweep it into space. Dinosaur Junior, I will not say this is a return to form. They always have been very consistent over the years. This is another very good Dinosaur Junior album. Lots of standout tracks, but it's everything you'd expect from them. You know, that kind of gnarly guitar, the sleepy vocals of Jay Mashis, if I'm pronouncing his name properly. There's the Lou Barlow song. The opener's really good. They're always good at that. And so is the concluding track. Those are the two standouts. So yeah, very good. Number 9, we've got Idols and their 4th album, Crawler. So, Idols are kind of that band that they sort of can do no wrong in my books, to be honest. Over the past few albums, they've been experimenting more and more. They're getting this hip-hop producer, Kenny Beats, I think his name is, and yeah, they're doing a good job. There are punk moments of this, but they're also, you know, kind of signages to different directions. They hinted on that with Ultramono. Here they developed it a bit more. I'm expecting... No, actually, I hate it when critics say that, but I do think there will be an electronic album in the future. Not now, maybe not the next album, but they will. But it is an angrier album. It's more sludgier in places as well, but it's cleaner in others. And okay, it's not as poppy as their second album, Joys and Act as Resistance. It's equally good. I mean, again, they can do no wrong. Another great, it'll be in the top 10, no matter what they release. Okay, now during the summer was not a particularly good time for me, September being the worst, but there was one soundtrack to it, and this was the Jungle album, Loving in Stereo. Smooth grooves, great beats, you know, it was disco-ish in places. There's those high-pitched soulful vocals, which I like that, and the Duran Jones album, it more or less had the same sound, but I chose this one over it. More or less the same. So those two albums really soundtracked my summer. It's a really good album. Each track is a killer. It's great. Okay, next up, so we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, Japanese Breakfast with Jubilee. It's one of those albums where each track is just exciting. You know, you just love hearing it over and over again. Great. It's a bit 80s in places, but with a sort of 90s alternative sensibility. Really good. It's like each track could be a potential single here. That's it. It's a bit shoegazy. Japanese Breakfast started out as a shoegaze band, but here everything is cleaned up. It's very pristine. There's a lot of detail in the sound, but never crowding. Oh yeah, I really like it. I really like it. Especially the track Be Sweet. I think that's just fantastic. But anyway, again, this is for me 10 out of 10. Which means all these albums actually are 10 out of 10. So we've got now in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I have to do that or I'll start mixing up. We've got Flock by Jane Weaver. Jane Weaver, she's kind of like a one-person broadcast, if you ever heard of that group. I think I have it near me. Yes, I do. She sounds like this. What? Here, let's get that. This is their second album. Haha sound. I could see a template in that. Let's put it back there. It's good to have albums sometimes close at hand. Okay, so it's kind of this darkish electronica. But here, there's a Technicolor vibe going through it. You can see that in the thing. It's more happier. You can imagine her dancing in the room while she was singing it. You look good, you look good. when there was lockdown in March, Malta went through a small lockdown where schools were closed, and I had this on repeat throughout the whole each time I was giving lessons online. There would be a lesson, a small break. I played this album, next lesson. You know, that's just how it went. So yeah, I really liked it. Good. It's a happy album, bar a couple of songs. The last one, Solarized, is probably the best thing she's done. Okay, next up we've got Courtney Barnett. These things take time, take time. Again, this is another one of those artists who will release something and it will go in the top 10. I think she is the finest lyricist of the 20. Yeah, we're 1 year in. So let's say the 2010s and 2020s. You know, you can see it reflecting in my glasses in the... Anyway. Oh yeah, where to start? Great lyrics. It's more laid back though. Let's say if you take her first two albums, they're quite bouncy. This doesn't have that, bar a couple of tracks. It's more laid back. It's more easygoing. It's very laconic. It's really easy. It's like, you know, she was recording it while sipping cocktails or something like that on a beach. It's got this, you know, slacker vibe, which she's good at doing. But the tunes are there, and she experiments a little bit. There's a bit of a kraut rock element in some of these tracks as well, so it can be something new. Again, this is an artist that never puts a foot in, or, you know, a wrong foot. If I'm saying the expression properly. Anyway, next up we've got the Viagra Boys, Sweden's finest. Well, after the Hives, after ABBA. Anyway, this is Welfare Jazz. This reminded me a lot of the not Bad Seeds, the Birthday Party. Had that kind of skronk and energy to it. You know, these. Let's jump back. Okay, so Viagra Boys had a mini album called Streetworms. I thought it was okay. They were good, but the songs were a bit too long and they kind of got unfocused. Here they ironed out all those mistakes. The songs are focused. They're still experimental. There are great choruses. They will stick in your head. Really, really good. And while I was DJing, I played Ain't Nice, which is the opening track, and I swear the dance floor went insane. Very, 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 very good. I'll be eager to see what's coming up next. Oh, Snickers, you want to come on? No? Okay. She's looking for privates now. Okay, so we've got Dry Cleaning and New Long Leg. I'm jumping on a bandwagon because this was featured in every single top 10, but it deserves it. There's a kind of formula to these songs. Kind of spoken vocals in a, you know, sleepy I don't care voice with these beats or with a great riff in the background. That's it, but it works. It works really well. Lyrics are good. They're sort of what I call intellectual nonsense. Kurt Cobain perfected that too. These songs, you know, I remember discussing this with a friend of mine, and he said this album made him fall in love with alternative music again. And yes, it is that type of album. It's great all around. Now, this is the WTF album. There's always usually my list consists of half of these, but this year my listening, like I said, is mostly guitar rock. So we've got Terza and Color Grade. Wow. Anyway. Wow. You've heard nothing like this. This is music made by aliens. Okay, so this is kind of soul in a way. In a way, it's kind of electronic. In a way, it's very quirky. In a way, it's very experimental. In a way, you see, it's a lot of these things, but not all of them at once. It's a mishmash. The producer is Mika Levy, who I think they're great. They're absolutely great. I was a big fan of their previous band, Mika True in the Shapes. I don't know if they're still around. Anyway, so there's that quirkiness. You expect that quirkiness from Mika True. If you follow if you follow their soundtracks, etc. So that has that type of quirkiness. You know this is something different, and it doesn't feel forced. It's really effortless. You know, give it time, and it will work its magic on you. This is hopefully will be this, future of soul music. We'll see. And number 1, from Canada, we've got Kiwi Junior and Cooler Returns. I am a fan of Pavement. These have a lot of they play a big depth to them. That sort of, lyrically more than anything else. Lyrically, there's a lot of Stephen Malcolmus influence in them. They're quirky as well, quirky lyrics. The music is just, it's full on alt rock, I wouldn't say nothing new. It's very jangly at times. So there's a loud quiet element. But each track, again, could be a potential single. And hence, this is the album I listen to the most. It's soundtracked a lot of good and bad days. So, yeah. So it's number 1. Kiwi Junior and Cooler Returns. So we can do a tiny recap. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. And number 10. Did you listen to any of these albums? Do you have an opinion on them? Go ahead and share, like, subscribe, etc., etc.